Alright, welcome back to Hot Topics TV, y'all. Listen, just hit that subscribe button for me, please, and let's get right into the topic. For those of y'all who want to stay up to date with these stories, also hit that bell next to the subscribe button so you're notified every time a new video goes up or we do a follow-up to one of these stories. Alright, so Drake, Big Draco, Drake has been ordered to testify in XXXTentacion's murder trial. First of all, I'm saying to myself, what the hell does Drake have to do with XXXTentacion's murder? Let's be real from up front, right? Drake was nowhere around, and the people who committed this murder are now on trial, and none of them know Drake personally. So how is he connected to the murder? But you see how the judicial system works, right? Now this man has been ordered to testify at the trial. Damn. But let's talk about this because Drake and XXXTentacion, they were going at it for a while. So, hey, here we go. Alright. Drake, according to MSN, Drake has been ordered to appear for a deposition in the XXXTentacion's murder trial after being named a potential suspect in the rap star's death by the defense. Now, according to TMZ, and I already said it to y'all know TMZ got the scoop. Now, according to TMZ, the 36-year-old, which is Drake, has been scheduled to appear before the presiding judge February 24th, and it's going to be a Zoom call. So video to video FaceTime, but he'll still be appearing before a judge. Now, if he fails to appear, a postponement date has also been set for February 27th. So basically, they're like, if you can't show up on the 24th, we'll accommodate you on the 27th. We know you're a busy man, all that other stuff. Now, after which his absence would actually result in him possibly being charged with contempt. So they basically gave him 2 days, 2 choices. And you're going to show up on one of these. Just let us know ahead of time which one it is. Either one we'll accommodate. And after that, if you don't show, you could possibly be charged with contempt. Drake's probably sitting somewhere scratching his head like, listen, man, I ain't got nothing to do with this shit. But here we go again. Now, the person's name is Mauricio Padilla. This is the defense attorney for Dedrick Williams, one of the 3 suspects that were charged in connection to the murder, argued and convinced the case's presiding judge that Drake's testimony is essential in proving his client's innocence. I don't know how the hell, but hey, I'm sitting up here watching the whole trial unfold, and I'm watching the person who got the least amount of money. So when they robbed XXXTentacion, for now, I've watched the video. I've seen the robbery. I saw when his BMW with the Lamborghini doors pulled up. By the way, whoever was riding in XXXTentacion's passenger side, I'd go find who that person is, because he got out. And you know, Lamborghini doors, they go up slow. So they don't fly open like if you open a regular car door and just push it wide open. When them boys jumped out on XXXTentacion, blocked his car in from leaving, and ran up to the driver's side with the guns out and started reaching in the car. Obviously, they were telling him to give it up, give it up. He got money on him. He had $50,000 in cash in a bag. He was about to go purchase a motorbike and some other stuff, right, from the bike store. The person who was in his passenger seat, who was that? Because that person on video is seeing the Lamborghini door goes up slowly. He gets out, he runs, and none of the people who were robbing XXXTentacion paid any attention to him. I'm just saying, sometimes your people could set you up and call a lick on you and then talk about, oh, give me my cut later on. So if they robbing him like that, how come nobody went after the guy that ran out of the car? He could have ran around the corner and called the police. He could have ran around the corner and identified you. but they killed XXXTentacion. I don't know if XXXTentacion was actually wrestling with them, and that's how the gun went off. But I'm watching the court case unfold, and I'm watching that they took $50,000 from him in cash, and off that $50,000, it was split between the 3 suspects. Now, the person who got the least amount, he only came away with, I think, about $5,000. Now he's trying to say he is innocent, and that's the reason why he got $5,000, because his attorney is saying, for one, my client didn't want to do it, and for two, all the other people who were involved in it acknowledges that my client was not a part of the robbery. That is why when it came time to split the money up, they were saying, well, he shouldn't get none because he didn't even participate, right? He was just along for the ride, and he didn't even want to go for the ride. And that's supposed to be able to get him off. And somebody else says, just give him about $5,000 anyways. Anyhow, back to this with Drake. So Drake was first named as a person of interest in the case in December of 2022 when Williams' counsels argued that the hitmaker, who is Drake, could possibly be responsible for XXXTentacion's death due to a beef that they had prior to his passing. I don't know if you followed XXXTentacion while he was alive, but he had beef with quite a few people. I mean, he was a little rowdy dude. He wasn't afraid to fight. He obviously could also fight. He hung around some unscrupulous characters that loved to fight. I'm just saying. I'm not out here trying to make him look bad. I'm just saying. He made good music that was before his time, but he was a rowdy kind of rumble in the jungle kind of dude. So he took offense to a lot of stuff. Of course, in the end, I don't know if he kind of had a premonition and saw his end coming. So X kind of started to like deliver these messages like you're great and don't listen to what the world has to say and your star babies and your or this or that. He started dealing with like more cosmic stuff and, you know, all that kind of stuff and trying to clean up himself and his image. Really what it was is he was just growing and maturing. You understand? So in the process of doing all that, a different person was emerging out of who he had already been. However, one of the real things is that he was beefing with Drake for a minute, right? In a social media post, the late rapper, which is XXXTentacion, he warned that if he were ever to wind up dead, that Drake is the culprit. Now, this right here, somebody says, yo, if anything happened to me, if I'm ever going to wind up dead, just know that Champagne Papi, a.k.a. Drake, is the culprit. I didn't know that their beef went that deep. What the hell was their beef about? Anyhow, I think the beef was about Drake stealing his style, ripping off his style and his lyrics or whatever. And, you know, they got into a beef about it. Now, on social media, he said, if there's anything that should ever happen to me, just know that Drake is the culprit. Damn, that's kind of telling. If anyone tries to kill me, he went on to say, if anyone tries to kill me, it was at Champagne Papi, and he tagged Drake in it. His Instagram stories had this at the time. Now, the Look At Me artist would later claim that his Instagram account had been compromised and that he was not the author of that post. So he put the message up and then they took the message down and then he came out and said, hey man, they hacked my account and wrote this on there. This didn't have anything to do with me. Now that could have been a publicity stunt and XXXTentacion trying to, how should we say it, capitalize off of beefing with a top tier artist. I mean, make no mistake about it, Drake is at the top of the food chain when it comes to this music stuff. Every album he drops goes platinum, platinum, platinum. That says enough, right? I mean, it's Drake. So if you get into a beef with him, you could possibly capitalize off of this beef and get some money. What better way than to say, hey, we're beefing, and he's probably got he issued me some death threats, and he's got people around him that will carry it out. So if anything ever happens to me, just know that Drake is the culprit. Then go ahead and say, if anyone tries to kill me, it was Champagne Papi. And then you come back later and say, hey, I don't know how that got on my Instagram account. I think they hacked my account. Drake attends the Top Boy UK premiere at Hackney Picture House on September 4th of 2019 in London, England. In addition to the Six God, Williams attorney named Joe Budden, Quavo, Offset, 600 Breezy, 6ix9ine, Tankhead 666, Ski Mask the Slump God, and incarcerated Toronto rapper Top 5 as potential witnesses due to their own disagreements with XXXTentacion. Drake was first scheduled to be deposed or show up for a deposition on January 27th, but he failed to show up for that hearing. Drake is probably saying, fuck y'all, talk to my attorney. I don't have nothing to do with that shit, and I was nowhere around, and I have solid proof I was out of the country. I was in the UK. I was in London. I'm saying, not like somebody can't call a hit and then fly out of the country and act like they had nothing to do with it. But in this case, this is kind of like far-reaching. Not only that, it's the amount of people that they also put in as suspects. Check the names out. Quavo, Joe Budden is one of them. Joe Budden, Quavo, Offset. It's funny that they put Quavo and Offset, but anyhow, 600 Breezy, 6ix9ine. I mean, so you understand what I said when I said that XXXTentacion was beefing with a lot of people. I don't know, man. I think X got into the rap game and he saw that, yo, I'm talented, but two things are important. One is important that you have an image that is all yours. And two, an image that stands out. And two, it's important that you generate some kind of publicity, because publicity sells. And what better way to generate publicity than to get into some beefs with some people that were popping? Quavo, Offset, 6ix9ine, these are all artists that were popping. Drake, and of course Joe Budden. Okay, so they already said it. Drake's first deposition was supposed to be January 29th, and he already didn't show. So they gave him 2 more dates, and they told him that if he does not show up in any of these 2 more dates, then he possibly risks being charged with contempt. Now, if they charge him with contempt, what's the outcome? He didn't kill anybody, and he is not holding up their murder investigations. He is not impeding. He is not obstructing their murder investigations. So what are they going to charge him with? A fine? A fine that he can easily pay? Because I'm sure as hell it ain't going to be jail time. Now, XXXTentacion, for those of y'all who don't know, he was shot and killed in a robbery on June 18th, 2018, after leaving Riva Motorsports in Deerfield Beach, Florida. He was only 20 years old at the time of his death. Williams, along with co-defendant Michael Boatwright and Trayvon Newsome, those are the 3 suspects. They have been charged with first-degree murder and armed robbery with a firearm. They face life in prison if they are convicted. A 4th man, whose name is Robert Allen, he already pled guilty to second-degree murder earlier in 2022, and he has cooperated with the state. He already told them who else was involved, who planned it, why they did it, where they got their information from, how they did it, and all that. So basically, the state already flipped one of them on their head, and they got all the information they need. He already took his little time that they were going to give him in exchange for, and The rest of them are waiting to go through the court system, so they don't have a choice after this but to tell. A view of a tribute to slain rapper XXXTentacion during day 2 of Rolling Loud Festival at Banc of California Stadium on December 15th of 2018 in Los Angeles, California. Basically was a big event. Basically also was pretty much saying goodbye to a young legend. Leave your comments in the comment section and tell me, do you think that Drake had anything at all to do with XXXTentacion's murder? Or do you think that this is just a wild card? And, you know, a lot of these lawyers, they're looking for some type of publicity. And what better way than to actually pull these big name artists into the courtroom to have them testify, whether they have anything to do with it or not. Because you know, if Drake goes to court concerning XXXTentacion's murder, then all the paparazzi cameras are going to be out. Leave your comments in the comment section below. I'll catch you on the next video. It's Hot Topics TV. I'm out. Peace.